I really don't know the connection between Uhuru Kenyatta and Kenyatta Barron, but one thing that is evident is that they share a common name, which of course doesn't mean they come from the same family. So for a quick disclaimer, this video is made for educational purposes only and the fight against domestic violence. So welcome to the chilling story of Ronnie O'Neal III and the tragic end of Kenyatta Barron. Ronnie O'Neal was a father, a partner, a man who once preached against violence. But on a chilly night, Ronnie O'Neal III will commit one of the most horrifying acts of domestic violence in recent history. What really happened that night? And how did one small survivor help to bring justice? On that fateful night, residents in Riverview, Florida, were startled by the sound of screams and fire. Inside a modest family home, Ronnie O'Neal III brutally murdered his wife, then girlfriend, a 33-year-old Kenyatta Barron. He then turned on his own children, killing his 9-year-old daughter, Ron Nivea, who had cerebral palsy and was nonverbal. After that, he attempted to kill his own 8-year-old son, stabbing him multiple times and setting him on fire. Ronnie then called 911 himself, yelling religious and political phrases. When officers arrived, they found a scene so gruesome that even seasoned investigators were shaken. Ron Nivea had been bludgeoned to death, Kenyatta had been shot and then beaten, and the son barely clinging to life. The boy, Ronnie O'Neal IV, survived against all odds. Covered in burns and stab wounds, he was rushed to a hospital. Doctors called it a miracle, but his story wasn't over. Just months later, he would go to do the unimaginable, testify in court against his own father. In one of the most heartbreaking and powerful moments in courtroom history, Ronnie IV bravely recounted how his father attacked his mother, Kenyatta Barron, and his sister, and then turned on him. The small boy, in stature but mighty in spirit, told the jury, "My dad stabbed me, and I saw him do it." He was later adopted by Detective Mike Blair, one of the first responders to the scene. The Blair family gave him a new name, a new home, and most importantly, love. Today, he tells himself every day, "I'm safe, I'm loved, and I'm a part of a family." The trial of Ronnie O'Neal began and quickly drew nationwide attention, not just for the crimes, but because O'Neal chose to represent himself in court. Let me play you a clip of Ronnie O'Neal III in court defending himself against the murder case of unaliving Kenyatta Barron.
Mr. O'Neal, you need to speak audibly so that the jury can hear what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am, I haven't begun yet. I was talking to my father. He showed you a fraudulent recording where they allege that I beat Kenyatta Barron to death. He talked about Mr. Khalil Brown, my neighbor who stayed across the street. But if Mr. Khalil Brown was a help to them proving me guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, they would have called Mr. Khalil Brown. But I called Mr. Khalil Brown to be a witness for me. And I didn't ask him to lie about one thing that he saw that night. I asked him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen. And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it. Because if you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
All right, Mr. O'Neal, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate in a closing argument.
Now he played a recording that was sped up. Why didn't you play the regular recording that people can understand what the call was saying?
Objection to the defendant asking me questions, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain.
I'm talking to people.
Mr. O'Neill, listen, please just keep in mind this is not personal towards the prosecutors. Please keep your comments directed towards the evidence and the law. Thank you.
I know for a fact Kenyatta Barron recorded from her phone did not record calls sped up like that.
I'm going to object now. He's talking about facts, not in evidence of what he knows.
Again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you were instructed, the closing arguments are just that. They're not the evidence or the instruction on the law. It's just what the parties believe the evidence shows or does not show. All right? Thank you.
You heard Mr. Khalil Brown. You've been hearing me for 2 weeks now telling you that they committed criminal acts against me with the 911 calls and that fraudulent video that they just showed y'all. Now, I'm going to prove it to you. You heard Khalil Brown. He said that he was actually sure that I only hit Kenyatta Barron 3 times. You heard. I called him to tell you that. I ain't running from nothing. They didn't call Khalil Brown to tell you that. I did. You have to ask yourself why that is. Because I want you to know the actual facts. I did kill Kenyatta Barron. But I want you to tell it like it is if you're going to tell it.
In a bizarre and chilling performance, he opened with loud proclamations and conspiracy-laced claims. He cross-examined witnesses, including his own son, and despite the overwhelming evidence, including the 911 call, his son's testimony, and forensic proof, O'Neill continued to deny some of the charges. In his closing argument, he admitted, "I did kill Kenyatta Barron," but he insisted the rest of the narrative was false. The jury didn't buy it. They found him guilty on all accounts. 2 accounts of murder, first-degree murder, attempted murder, arson, aggravated child abuse, and resisting arrest. The judge sentenced him to 3 lifetimes in prison without a possibility of parole. And for those who don't understand possibility of parole, hii ni kusema ameshikwa na hata mtu yoyote mwenye akona nguvu, like the way the president pardons some people. Hakuna mtu anaweza kumtoa ndani, yani anakaa pale mpaka kifo chake. She called it the worst case she had ever seen. And the case left a lasting impact across the country, even to the world, not only for the cruelty of the crime, but for the strength of the child who survived and helped to bring justice. Ronnie O'Neill IV, now Ronnie Blair, is thriving in his new life. He is doing well in school, surrounded by a loving family, and is a symbol of resilience and healing. His story is one of tragedy, but also triumph. For many, the case raised awareness of domestic violence, mental health, and the strength of survivors. It forced people to look deeper into signs of abuse and how systems can fail to protect the vulnerable. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please don't stay silent. This is not just the story of horrific crime. It is also the story of a survivor, of hope, of healing, of justice. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay aware. It has been Anonymous Whistleblower. Till the next time, cheers. Stand by in 3, 2, 1, go.